Alright, I thought we'd have a little chat about the Poulan Wild thing. First off, this one is the original 2375 Non-strato, and you can also tell that because it has the power switch on this side and the choke on this side rather than both together. Oh, and check this out. Pull the choke, flips the power on. Now, I want to talk about the pros and cons. Good thing I found that. Dirty fingers. Of these saws. And why you'd want to have one. Or if you're in your right mind, why you wouldn't want to have one. They're a throwaway saw. This is a 40cc. It's a bare bore cylinder and a chrome piston. And the reason they put the chrome on the piston is because there's less surface area and it's just cheaper that way. So the cylinder will wear out before the piston does, and the saw is not worth a new cylinder, so that's why they're a throwaway saw. And a lot of the other stuff they did to make them cheap. They're a clamshell design, which most homeowners are. Low compression. There's nothing really that you can effectively do about that that's within the realms of reason. So you're stuck with low compression, low power. It has open transfers. Any attempt to port this saw is futile because even if you're Dyno Joe, the gains you're going to get are minimal, and it's usually at a sacrifice of torque. So unless you're racing the saw, there's no gains at all, because when you go to actually go cut wood with it, that lack of torque is going to hurt you. So you're probably better off to mod the muffler, bump the timing ahead a little bit, where it's got such low compression you should be able to get away with it. And if you can't, it's a piece of junk anyway, blow it up. The fuel lines literally rot right off of these saws. The air filter falls apart and rots right off of the saw. The coil, when the saw heats up, the plastic, the coil is bolted to the plastic, and it expands and you lose your gap, and the screws all strip out, and the coil literally just starts to flop around. So it often comes loose. The pros to this saw would be it's cheap to buy. Both when they were new, you could buy them reasonably cheap. Although I think you could spend your money on something better. And now you can basically, people give them away. I picked this one out of the garbage and probably should have left it there. They're cheap to buy until you start putting parts on them, and the parts will probably be worth more than the saw is. The other advantage is that they're purple and green, like a popsicle, like a lime grape popsicle, so that's a big advantage. The last thing that we can say that is good for this saw, positive thing, is that when you do burn up the cylinder in it, the Poulan Pro 260 42cc has a chrome cylinder and should fit right in this saw. So the next video I'm going to do is on my Poulan Pro 260 42cc with the chrome cylinder and the bare piston.